Pushkin.
Walking through here, it's like a hall of you and Barry Manilow. Like, amazing. Like, there's so many little gems as you walk through. One of the things I was like, well, I'll start with it just because so I don't forget it, is the Pocketwatch album.
Oh my
True
God.
Story of Skeeter Thompson. Actual true story.
That is a true story. That was when I first started recording stuff on my own in a studio. My friend Barrett Jones, that was actually the first person I ever recorded with when I was 14 years old. He had a 4-track studio in the laundry room of his parents' house. And through friends of friends, we wound up recording our first demo, this punk band I was in called Freak Baby. And we recorded 4 songs in his laundry room, like the drums were in his bedroom and the vocals were in the bathroom and whatever. Over time, we became really close friends. And he upgraded to an 8-track and still had a studio in his house. But it was around then that I realized, like, if there's 8 tracks, I could lay down a drum track and then put a bass over it and then put some guitars over it and then put a vocal on it, and it'll sound like a band, even though it's just one person.
Yeah.
And I kind of understood multi-tracking from when I was really little. I had 2 cassette decks, and I would record a drum thing on this one cassette on a boom box, and then I'd take, and the drums were pots and pans, and then I would put that in the stereo and hit record on this one, hit play on the drum thing, play guitar along with it, and then I'd have this cassette that would have drums and guitar on it.
Right.
Then I'd take the cassette and put it in that and just sort of like bounce that way.
Back and forth, yeah, Beatles style, I guess. Right?
Yeah, so I understood like the concept of multi-tracking. But then I thought like, oh wow, this is like an 8-track studio. And my friend Barrett, I would always say like, hey, do you have any tape left at the end of that reel? He'd be like, yeah, I'll probably have like a couple minutes. And I would go in really quickly so as to not waste his time. I usually had everything worked out in my head, and I would just blast a drum track really quick, put 2 guitars on it, a bass on it, and then bring it home and listen to it. And that's when I realized like, oh my God, I can write songs and record them and make it sound like a band. Even though I didn't necessarily like the way I sang.
Yeah.
I didn't think I was a great guitar player, but it was this fun experiment. So I was recording all these.
Were you a songwriter at that point? I mean, did you write songs for like in your spare time for fun?
I mean, I was writing songs about my dog when I was 11 years old. Yeah. And, you know, I had journals and stuff, and I was, you know, a complicated teenager writing all of this shit that I considered poetry, but it was just not. And so I was just starting to kind of explore this new way of expressing myself, or just like to me it was almost like a puzzle, like a game.
Yeah.
Just seeing how far I could take it.
Yeah.
Like I only had 8 tracks to deal with. Like,
right.
So I couldn't do this. But anyway, so like a song like that was just something recorded for fun. And that Pocketwatch cassette was the first time I released music on my own, but it was a cassette only release. I don't know how many they made. 100.
It's only ever come out on cassette, right?
Yeah, it was a friend of ours. So this is in Washington, D.C. in the early 90s. Everybody had a record label, right?
Yeah.
And the D.C. scene was amazing because it was very independent, and the ambition was really pure. It was to create good music, to create art, to be shared, but also to sort of like foster this community and scene. It wasn't a huge scene, but it was a really like strong and connected scene of friends and really creative people. So a girl named Jenny Toomey, she was the one with the Simple Machines label. Is that what it was? Simple Machines, yeah. But at the same time, I was in Nirvana. I'm like, why would I want to complicate my musical experience by putting out something like the story of Skeeter Thompson, the bass player of Scream, which is just an instrumental with a spoken word over it. It's a true story, but it's ridiculous.
Fucking hilarious.
While I'm in this other band with one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And I get to just bang away at the drums behind this amazing songwriter. And it's pure and it's beautiful, and and it was powerful and it sounded good. So all of the things that I do now, they were like my little side project thing that if I needed to blow off steam, I would just record things on my own, but never want it to, it's the famous drummer joke. What's the last thing the drummer said before he got kicked out of the band? Hey guys, I have a song that I think we should play. Like I knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
I lived that.
Did it happen in Scream ever? Like, were you ever trying to contribute?
Scream was very collaborative in that the guys in the band, they were older than me. They're 8-10 years older than me, but they'd grown up with each other. They were best friends through high school and stuff. Yeah. So Franz, the guitarist, was a great guitar player, is a great guitar player, and a great songwriter. Pete was and is a great singer.
Awesome singer.
And a great lyricist songwriter. At the time when Scream, before I joined the band, they were one band in Washington, D.C. that was far more kind of musical and rock and roll than a lot of the other bands in town.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I loved about them. Like, I loved the Bad Brains. I loved, the Dead Kennedys and Minor Threat and all of the early hardcore bands. Yeah. But I loved Foghat, too.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I loved Zeppelin. I was a rock and roll kid from the suburbs. Scream were sort of that band that put all those things together. But when we would collaborate, we really did have that thing when a specific group of people get together and play, it makes a specific sound. Yeah. And so that connection, not only musically, but as people, as friends, was really strong.
Those are great records, and your drumming on those it's like, in your book, you tell a great story about Skeeter basically chaining you to the drum set and making you just play a groove over and over, like Can or something,
Yeah, basically, before I joined Scream, I was like a wild horse. I was just reckless. And of course, I wanted to have tempo. I wanted to have feel. But I was like a hyperactive child, Yeah. And you give me a drum set and something's going to break. And it's going to maybe be faster than it should. And I'm probably going to fill up those empty spaces with things that only I love.
Yeah.
So basically, Skeeter sat me down and when I first joined the band, and he said, we're going to smoke a joint, and we're going to play this one riff for half an hour, and you're not going to do a drum fill. I was like, yeah, okay, great. And we sat down, and I don't remember what it was. It was a simple groove. And almost like an itch that I needed to scratch, within 30 seconds, I blasted some drum fill, and he looked at me and kind of winked like, no, can't do that. You got to stay on it. And he broke me like a horse.
Broke you like a horse.
I'm telling you. And it really worked. It was my one valuable drum lesson was from a bass player.
Well, of course.
Right?
Fucking of course.
Now I know.
Yeah.
But back then I was like, wait, what just happened?
That's so funny, man. But like you listen to those records, you're like, oh yeah. Like you can hear that, like, you're an unchained maniac in some way. Or you were at one point, because the power is there. Like, it's like the fucking power is there, but then there is like a restraint and a groove on those records that are
Have you ever been to, you probably haven't, the engineer producer that made most of the DC records is a man named Don Zientara. So Don Z, he was like the first person to record the Bad Brains. He was the first person to record all of the Dischord stuff, all of that stuff.
Embrace all that.
It was in a room about a fifth the size of this room, this tiny room. They're recording analog to tape. I don't know what machine he had, but it was not only like spatial restriction, the basement of a house in Arlington, residential neighborhood. And when you listen to like some of those Fugazi recordings where you've got that incredible band tracking live in a space the size of like a bath towel, and you listen to it and it sounds so huge. And one of the reasons why it sounds so huge is because it's the combination and energy of those people in that moment. So sonically, like the sonic element has a lot to do with it. But beyond that, it's the energy of what's happening between those people in that moment. And that's kind of how we would record.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like when we recorded the one picture we took from the studio.
There's only one picture from
I swear to God, there's maybe 3 pictures. Like one of them is the 3 of us in the control room. That was the drum setup for recording Nevermind. The reason why it worked is because when we recorded live, those songs, we'd count in and we'd do a couple takes, and then we didn't have a lot of time, so we had to move on to we were only there for 12 days or whatever it was. Right. Anyway, So that's a really important part of the process that lends to the energy of a song.
Yeah.
You know?
That picture brings joy to my heart because I love like that simple like mic setup for like that's the like, you know, it's just that's fucking perfect.
Well, it was also that room and it was also this board. And so
which is a long way from the boombox dubbing. You know?
Yeah, exactly. If I had this when I was 11, I wouldn't even.
Would have been fucking Beethoven or something, you know, some sort of.
We'd be a lot farther along.
Yeah. Hard to imagine. Just to put a pin on it though, hold on, real quick.
Okay.
Is this pus? It's lint. you were sort of diminishing yourself.
It's kind of a vulgar story.
Fuck it. It's great. It's hilarious.
So we were in Amsterdam. That's exactly how the song begins. Whenever Scream would tour Europe, I think I was like 18 years old the first time I went. Amsterdam was our home base, not only for obvious reasons, but because we had a good friend there, a guy named Toss. He had an apartment. And so we would go there to prepare for a tour. We'd go there and we'd start rounding up equipment because there's no way we could fly our backline equipment we had no money.
Right.
We'd fly standby on this airline called Martin Air. It was amazing. You could fly out of BWI for $99 out of BWI and you could reserve a standby ticket, which is weird because usually if you fly standby, you sit and wait and cross your fingers. Martin Air was a Dutch airline. Martin Air, they would tell you whether you're on the flight or not, like 2 days before the flight. So you basically reserve a seat for $99. So we would all work our jobs at home. I worked in a furniture warehouse. Pete worked at the Washington Post delivering papers. And we'd get $99 and we'd get our tickets and get over to Amsterdam, but have nothing. And we would sleep on Toss's floor. We'd sort of try to pick up odd jobs to make a little bit of money.
And how did you know Toss?
Scream knew Toss, I think, from the first time before I joined the band, they toured Europe in maybe like 1983 or 85 or something. But so, yeah, they just met Toss.
Punk scene, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, that was sort of like that network and community those days. People helped each other out.
Yeah.
There was always a floor to crash on. And if you didn't have a guitar, there was always one that someone would lend. So Skeeter one day, as I was sitting on the couch listening to Toss's amazing record collection, Skeeter walks up to me with his dick in his hand. And I think he was afraid that he had maybe contracted a nasty problem.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Skeeter. I don't want to call Skeeter out. And he said, "Does that look like puss to you?" And I said, "Nah, I think it's lint." And so
it's so perfectly delivered on the song.
Well, here's the thing. I'm never short for words, first of all. I never have been. And I didn't know what to sing over this crazy, like, metal instrumental thing that I had done.
Yeah.
So I decided just to tell a story. And that was the story.
But if you're long-winded, you figured out a way to be really concise and economical.
It's all about the timing.
You know, boom,
it's the timing.
It's perfect. It was perfect. And then I saw the classic Cheech and Chong. It's Dave.
Oh,
hey,
my
man.
God.
And I'm like, that must be. I was like,
I remember listening to Cheech and Chong records when I was in like 6th grade. It's weird. Life kind of changed around like 10 or 11 years old, where, you know, I had Beatles records and I had Kiss records and I had Rush records, and pre-punk rock, I was listening to Cheech and Chong records, which are amazing. And Dave's Not Here, that comic that's upstairs, and all those bits on those records are so funny. Yeah. And then I went to a movie theater with my friend Larry Hinkle. He's my best friend. We went one night to a midnight movie and we saw AC/DC's Let There Be Rock tour movie, which is a AC/DC performance in, I think, Paris from maybe 79.
Yeah. It
was just before Bon Scott, their original singer, passed away. And their performance was so moving. It was it was the first time I'd seen and it was in a movie theater with
jealous.
A concert PA in the theater. It was me and Larry and like 3 other people in the back who were smoking weed. And watching this AC/DC performance, it was like their life depended on it. Angus Young is running, sweating, getting oxygen because he's going so hard. The drummer, Phil Rudd, he's just breaking through snares and putting new snares up. And it was like, it was the first time I felt in my body that I wanted to explode. As much as I loved the complexity and the beauty and the melody of like the Beatles and things like that.
Yeah.
This just made me want to fucking tear the movie theater down. And that sort of like set this spark in me. And it wasn't long after that I discovered punk rock music. And I was like, I'm home. Okay, great. I found the thing that unlocks the thing.
Yeah.
I got the key now.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do?
It's amazing how closely related those things are, because, you know, after a certain point, by the time I got into punk rock, it was like verboten to, like, you know, like, God forbid you listen to like a Ted Nugent record or something, you know? But then you like watch an interview with like Henry Rollins. He's like, he fucking loves Ted Nugent. Like,
he and Ian MacKaye. I've had long debates. Actually, it's funny. Ian's an old friend, and he was, you know, he's honestly one of my heroes in life. He's such an incredible person, incredible man. His truth and integrity and purity and creativity and the way he lives is like, he's a righteous dude. He's amazing.
To this day.
Incredible guy. To this day. So we've had long conversations about Ted Nugent. I'm like, are you really, Ian? He's like, yeah, man. Like, I guess he and Henry went to go see him play. He's like, here's this guy. He jumps out on stage with his guitar. It's loud as shit. He's wearing a loincloth and he's screaming his fucking brains out. His hair's out to here. He goes, yeah, Ted Nugent. And so last year for Ian's birthday, I got him a cameo from Ted Nugent.
No fucking way.
Yeah. And it blew Ian's mind. I don't even think Ian knew what Cameo was. And of course, like, you have to sort of prompt the Cameo, say, it's my friend Ian's birthday. He's a struggling musician and an avid bow hunter or whatever. Like, I went there.
He's an avid bow.
And he was just like, how did you do that? How does this? I'm like, Ian, it's like an app. You just play that. He's like, blew his mind. He was super into it. Guy was not, apparently.
I would like to imagine at some point Ted Nugent realized that was really for.
Well, you know what's funny? Actually, recently, I could say this now because Ian acknowledged it the other day. You know about the Albini Fugazi record that came out recently?
Yeah.
It's phenomenal. It's testament to how Steve Albini could take something to an entirely different place.
Yeah.
Like, I'd never heard Fugazi sound like that. That record is a masterpiece, and it's so incredibly powerful. And, you know, everybody had heard, it was rumored that they made a record with Albini. But anyway, so when it came out on Bandcamp, it was like, you know, $9.99, $10 or whatever. And you could donate money to a charity that was Albini's, like, favorite charity. So I buy the record, and then I donate a bunch of money to the charity. But then you can also write a message to the band. And I said, thank you for finally releasing these Albini sessions. Currently listening to your album from my monster truck as I shoot flaming arrows at targets. Love, Ted Nugent. And I'm like, he's going to see this. It took about 3 weeks. And I just got the text the other day. He's like, hey, Nuge, thanks for the donation. I texted back. I said, God bless America. But right. So no, I mean, both of these things can be true. These two things can coexist.
Yeah.
You know, I think one of the complications in a lot of that punk rock list of ethos,
do's and
ethics,
don'ts,
whatever it was, like, can't do this, can't do that, can't do this. One of the things, of course, like, there were elements of that music where I was really inspired emotionally, personally, politically, all of those things, especially at that time in the 80s. Like, I mean, here we are again, but still, like,
seems quaint almost now.
Right.
But
so, like, the world needs punk rock now more than ever.
I think it's coming back.
I'm telling you.
I feel like the guitar's coming back.
I fucking hope so.
The fucking world needs loud guitars.
Right. But
you know?
there was also the musicality.
Yeah.
When I learned how to play the drums, it was literally sitting on a floor in front of a couch, playing on pillows. But I could hear, like, Earl from the Bad Brains.
Yeah.
I could hear the difference between him and John Bonham and Jeff Nelson from Minor Threat and Stuart Copeland. And so there was something about the musicality in all of their individual feel that I was like, that to me was the challenge. Like,
trying to
don't just go up there and, like, scream shit. Like, go up there and, like, push it as far as you can. And even in writing a song, don't just stop there. Like, keep going. Sometimes it should stop there. But, like, a lot of the musicality, I think, came from those early rock and roll records, classic rock, or then the energy and the intention of punk rock. You put those two things together and you have a Fugazi record.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point. It's a good time to bring up. you guys are going to go out on the road, and you guys have some incredible openers. I mean, to your point of like the world needs punk rock. Like, you guys have some great openers.
Yeah.
I feel like Mannequin Pussy, D Spitz. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but D Spitz. I don't speak German or whatever. But there we go. Whatever, if you can figure it out.
Just a little band called Queens of the Stone Age.
Oh, Queens of the Stone Age. There we go. I know. I feel like it does feel like, when I was thinking back about your career, it's like incredible. Like, you're in DC and there's that scene. It's Ian MacKaye, and you got bands like Scream, and then you come out to LA and there's like, a whole LA thing, and then you go up to Seattle and there's that, of course, and then you get out of there and you're starting the Foo Fighters, and it's like, oh, Nate from fucking something you did real estate, and then at some point it's like, oh, no use for a name, like let's grab Chris, and it's like there used to just be such where every town had this incredible network of musicians, and it felt like that was like splintered for a long time, but it feels, I'm hoping slowly it's coming back. I mean, that's one of the things that's sort of amazing. I mean, you kind of caught the last train out of Nam, or helicopter out of Nam in that sense. Like, you kind of were like, you got to have that and work from that, and then it just sort of went away, which was...
Well, it's a trip, because I think there was like sort of necessity in connectivity. Those punk rock scenes. First of all, the thing that I really loved about it back then, that there was this regional element to music. It's like if a band was coming from Minneapolis, you're like, oh, they've got that Minneapolis thing, Die Kreutzen or Husker Du or whatever, stuff like that. Or Southern California, the SST record stuff. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's an SST record. All right, here we go. Like, what's this going to be? It's going to be weird. Yeah. It's going to be heavy. It's going to be loud. And then over time, as things became more interconnected, it's not that regional aspect or element of the music disappeared. Things just sort of, spread faster and quicker. But the community, I still feel like there is community in music. And it's funny, because I do feel like there's community in underground music as much as I feel like there's community in like broader scale, like pop and things like that. Because I feel like musicians should stick together. Right? Yeah. If you put two musicians in a room in front of a board and we're talking about albums and stuff, or just music, you're going to find common ground, I probably have an easier time speaking with a musician than I would like a lawyer or a football player or something like that. Yeah. So I do think that there is this common ground community in most musicians. Now with the interconnectivity of everything, it's a different world. Yeah. But I do think, and I watch someone like my daughter Violet or my daughter Harper. They're both musical, and they both reside in this really awesome place with their friends and a lot of them are tons of musicians. Like, there's drummers and there's guitar players, and this guy has a studio, and this band's playing a show. Actually, oh my God, recently I went and saw Max's band. Max is 16, 17 years old. He and my daughter Harper are like this. And his band was playing at this place that is a skate shop that sort of packs up and pushes everything to the side so that they can have punk rock shows at night. Sick. There's no door charge, but you can donate if you want. And so I went to go see Max's band. They're all probably around 17, 18 years old. It was a 3-piece. I didn't know what to expect. Max is a great drummer. I walk in, there's maybe 30 or 40 people there, and all the kids from the bands are watching everybody else's band, which to me, that's the thing. Yeah. They start setting up, and this singer guitar player guy, I don't remember his name, he unzips this duffel bag and he pulls out this line of pedals that looks like almost like Christmas lights. It was like 19 pedals. He pulls out, and they're all tangled up, and he's like putting it on the floor. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. And they get everything set up, and then he just goes, crazy sonic youth. I think he's playing like a Jaguar or something like that. And now all of a sudden it's like Hendrix at Woodstock. I'm like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And then he just goes blang, and all of a sudden it's giving like Dinosaur Jr. melodies and chords. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. The other two aren't even in the club yet. Then he's playing this song. And I'm standing by the front door. The two of them walk into the front door, into the place through the front door. They get on their instruments and they just start going for like 5 minutes. I'm just like, now it's like swans. Now I'm just like, oh my God, this is insane.
Yeah.
So eventually it's total chaos and it's beautiful. And the guitar player, he gets his guitar. There's maybe 40 people there in a really small room. He gets his guitar and he's pulling it through the crowd well, first he's handing his guitar to everybody. Everybody's playing it. He's pulling it through the crowd by like the guitar on the floor. He's just running. So now the audience is split in two, and there's this like the Red Sea. There's this aisle where he's just running back and forth, dragging his guitar around. It's the most insane, beautiful, chaotic feedback. And it's like he's making music. It's just chaos. Cool. And I'm like, oh my God. Like now it's Nation of Ulysses. Now I'm just like, oh my God, am I 18 again? This is insane. Back and forth, and those guys are, and then all of a sudden I'm looking around, I'm like, where the fuck did that guy go? And the front door opens up and he comes running through that. He had run around the block as the guitar is on the ground going, wee. And then the show ends in the most climactic. I was so inspired, but I was also reassured because I'm like, great. It still exists.
Yeah.
There's moments where you think like, maybe it's gone. Maybe that thing that you feel at that age.
Yeah.
Independence, identity. You're in this place. You're not a little kid anymore. You get to decide who you want to be if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And you've got this community of people that are like living. They're like, let's do this with each other and for each other.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so great.
Does that something like that too? Does it still? Do you leave there and be like, fuck it, I want to go to this? I want to just pick up my guitar and go nuts.
1,000%.
Like, yeah.
I was like, I can't wait to go home and write some songs.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
totally inspiring.
That's kind of, and I mean, not necessarily that. I don't know if something like that inspired this record, but the new record, Foo Fighters record, as I understand, did come from you just writing a bunch of songs.
See, it's weird because we've made a bunch of records, and we've moved in different directions, like almost on each record. If you listen to the first record, it's like there's Weenie Beanie, and that's my version of a Ministry song, and then there's like Big Me, and that's my version of a fucking candy commercial or a silly Kinks song or something. And then a song like I'll Stick Around or This Is a Call, like that's more sort of like that's my scream. That's like the scream part of my heart, right? That's there. And then the second record, there's like really beautiful moment, February Stars, very sort of like big, sort of emotional, anthemic kind of vibes. And then the third record, it's like there's elements like Ain't It the Life? It's almost like a fucking Eagles song or something. I don't know. It's weird because that's what I'm saying. Like you push, and you want to see where you can go with what you've got. Yeah. Right. So then over time, you have this like really wide playing field dynamic where it's like, okay, is this like a sleepy acoustic thing? Well, fuck, we've done that. Is this like some noisy ass, like screaming ass punk rock song? Fuck, we've done that, man. Is this like, some orchestral, weird, Zeppelin presence wannabe thing? God, we kind of did that, And so you wind up in a place where you can't overanalyze or overthink things because it will overcomplicate stuff. You just go with what you feel at the moment. Yeah. Right? And so as we were making these songs, I had this bank of demos that I'd made. It was like 40 or 50 things, just instrumentals, because still I'll walk upstairs, put down a drum track, put some guitars on it, just like another story about Skeeter Thompson. I have an instrumental and I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And so I have this bank of like 50 of them. It's almost looking in the pantry and you have 60 different ingredients. Pick 10 of those ingredients and see what you can cook up. That's cool. Can't use them all. Yeah. And some don't work with each other. So what do you do? And so that's basically what happened.
So how do you filter it? Do you pick like your first couple of favorites and start to see what kind of works with those? Or like you just pick like 20 and just start to whittle? Or?
Well, what happened was I was lying there in bed in the middle of the night just listening to these demos like, okay, that's kind of cool. That bridge is good. ooh, I like the pattern on that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just going down random sequence. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like that, blah, blah, blah. And then randomly, there were 10 songs in a row that were just like boom, 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 boom.
Just sequenced already like that.
Basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Why would I want to throw Stairway to the Heaven in the middle of Rock for Light? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? Then you can't. And I literally texted everybody at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, okay, I think this is what we should do. And let's start tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Jesus.
And we just blasted it out. Ilan was done in, what, a week? He was done in about 7 days.
Wow.
He would do 3 songs a day and just blast through it. But it was recorded in my house. And again, limited space. Like, we couldn't fit the whole band in the room, even just sitting down or standing up. It was like, this room is too small. It's small.
It's going back to the Dischord.
So it was like,
studio.
Okay, Ilan, you come in, and then Nate, are you available at 1? And so literally like tracking in order to have enough space for each person to play.
It's amazing.
And it was just blasting through it. But that was the thing. It was just sort of this gut feeling of energy. Like right now, that's how we feel. Like, let's go blast shit.
Yeah.
You know, we were out there doing all these smaller gigs in clubs and theaters, surprise gigs for fun. Mostly really just to sort of like, you know, bring Ilan in closer and get tighter in those small shows. It's like you get tight quick.
Yeah.
And in those small shows, we really celebrated like all of these older songs we hadn't played in a long time, blah, blah, blah. But it was like, God damn, that feels good. I'm 57 years old. And it still feels good to scream bloody fucking murder over some squealing ass feedback and hard-hitting drums. So, yeah.
And you can still fucking do it, like, relentlessly. It seems like, because you don't stop. Nothing's breaking down. You broke your leg, you kept going.
I had a physical the other day. And the guy's like, okay, do you exercise? I'm like, no. He goes, okay. He takes all my stuff. He's like, well, you're in pretty good shape. I'm like, yeah, I run around screaming my fucking ass off for 3 hours, 4 days a week or whatever. That's my favorite exercise.
Yeah.
Imagine going on a jog for 3 hours and singing Glory, Glory, Hallelujah the whole time, and you come back with some fucking washboard abs.
I should start doing that.
Yeah, but so when I look at a lot of our favorite musicians who have had these long, storied careers, talking, McCartney and Joe Walsh and Mick Jagger and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They don't slow down.
Yeah.
They almost ramp up.
Yeah.
And you're like, how could that possibly be? And I don't think that it's a ticking clock. I think it's the heart grows and the gratitude and the appreciation as time goes on really grows. But you're like, I can't believe I'm still fucking doing this. I don't know what else I would do, but like, I feel really grateful that like we're here.
Because it could
that
be.
We're just like talking about shit.
Wow.
This is the fucking best.
Thank you.
I have to go get a fucking passport in 45 minutes so that I can go and do this somewhere really far away.
Yeah.
For the next year and a half of my life. And thank God, like, it's great.
Because it could go the other way. It could be, I've done it. It could be jaded, or it could go that direction.
1,000%. It
But
just
it's
doesn't.
not for you for some
No,
reason.
and I've always thought the core intention, which you sort of find when you first start playing music, it's like, I just want to fucking play music.
Yeah.
Like, you can't imagine it becoming the thing that you do for the rest of your life.
Just an itch.
And it's like in your heart. And that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time once, when Nirvana ended where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do music anymore. Like, that hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, what am I talking about? Like, that's the thing that always saved my life. Like, yeah, I have to do it.
Was there any part of you considering something else? Like, was there anything you were?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But time went by where I was just like, God, what do I do? Like, I can't, if I sit behind the drums, it makes me sad. If I listen to music, it makes me sad. Then I wrote songs.
Yeah. And
like when I was a kid with those stupid journals, I wrote my way through it. And so I think that's what happens, That's part of it.
Yeah.
is you sort of write your way through life.
Yeah.
While at the same time, it's like the only other thing that I love as much as music, as an activity, is like cooking. I really love cooking.
Amazing.
And I love cooking for people because it's a similar interaction in that I'm going to prepare something for you and I really want it to be so good that you enjoy it and you come back for seconds.
Really
and your recipe is your song, and the cook itself is the process, and the serving is the concert, and the second plate is the encore. Like it's a very similar reward.
Yeah.
When you do that for a large group of people, for friends, when you do that for people that don't have food, when you like to be able to have a simple human, loving, empathetic, caring interaction with someone else through a plate of food or a song. This is the best thing in the world.
Those are really
that being
the best.
said, I would rather fucking rock the house than run the kitchen. For fucking sure.
Yeah. Cooking for 500 people, much less fun than playing for 500 people.
500? That's easy.
Well, because you brought that up, there's I saw a clip one time of Chris Novoselic saying, I don't know even who asked, but just like something popped up. It was like, people ask me like, am I like sometimes jealous that Dave like has all this success now with like, and it's like, no, like this motherfucker just like put in the work. You look at Dave, he's putting in the fucking work. Like he's just and you're like, so how could I be? I'm like, I'm proud or something. And I'm just like, from afar, I mean, he has a more internal view of that, but from afar, it's always seemed like that way too. Like almost like you brought up McCartney, like leaving the Beatles. What do I do? Like just put a band together, Wings. Go on, let's go hit the fucking. Let's go play colleges across Europe. Like okay, let's go figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the Nirvana experience was I don't even know what the word is for it. It was just something else.
Yeah,
in all the best and worst ways. And when you go through something like that with like a small group of people, you're forever connected by that. We're a big family. All of the people that were there.
Yeah.
And we all do love each other, right? When Nirvana ended, like I kind of knew at first it was hard for me to get through it, and then I realized that music is the thing that's going to get me through it. Have you ever met Chris Novoselic?
One time when I was 15, passing a record store. I was passing a record store, and I didn't know he was I'm 6'6". He was fucking taller than me. He was taller than me. I'm like, what the fuck is Chris?
We did SNL one time with Charles Barkley. And
yes,
he was taller
than Charles Barkley. Yeah, fucking insane. Awesome. Insane.
Chris has such a gigantic heart and such an brilliant, amazing mind. And Chris sees the world through an entirely different lens than anyone you've ever met, in the most beautiful way. He's an artist, and he's a writer, and he's the same.
Yeah.
The first day I ever met him, he has not changed. And so the experience that we had together in Nirvana, like we'll be connected by that forever. And just as we all continue to move forward in life and live life, it's like we're still beautiful, loving friends. And whenever I see him, like it's a trip. I mean, it's like hugging a tree. He's really big, but when you give that hug, it's like that's real shit.
Yeah.
Like the kind that you really feel.
Yeah.
So he's amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible that you still get to play with like Pat too, and now Nate, how many years that's been, it's like, and Pat seems like, I've never got to meet Pat, but again, going back to people you get to pull from all these things, like you get Pat from the Germs, like what the fuck?
The funniest thing, so we went back to, I agree.
It's a dream. That's a dream.
It's a dream.
What the fuck?
Like the Decline of Western Civilization, that live record soundtrack thing was like the first punk rock record I ever bought.
Wow.
And to think that, and the Germs are big on that record.
Yeah.
And so to think that I get to spend the rest of my life with the guy that inspired me to do this thing is amazing.
Yeah.
And you don't think that all the time, But you do have moments sometimes where you're like zoinks.
Yeah.
This is it's amazing.
It doesn't always work that way, you know? Like,
No, it doesn't. And I don't know what I'd do without him. He's just like, last time we played in DC, we played at the club, the Black Cat in DC. Small place, holds maybe like 500-600 people. And in true DC fashion, we get there and we're set up upstairs. And I start seeing like all of my old heroes. Brendan from Fugazi shows up. I'm like, hey, Joe from Fugazi shows up. Hey, man. Ian MacKaye, Ian's younger brother, who was in Faith and Ignition and all these amazing bands. Faith, to be honest, there was a band called Faith. They were kind of my favorite DC band. So I look at Alec and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm starstruck.
yeah.
I'd hate for him to know this, but I just am.
Yeah.
And we're sitting there talking. We were talking about, I think Brendan's daughter had a band with Alec's daughter, and we're just talking about the local music scene. And all of a sudden, he puts on a staff security shirt, and I'm like, "Were you doing security?" And he goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be up like front of the stage by the barrier." And I'm like, "Really?" I think he mostly only wanted to do it so he could stand in front of Pat Smear, who was his hero. Yes, Pat was in the Germs.
Yeah. And that must have felt the world away at that point, too, by the way. Like, you know, DC to LA, early 80s.
Yeah.
With that, or late 70s, early. I'm like,
who do you think Pat's favorite band is? Favorite artist of all time? Number one.
Can I get a decade? That for like, or
Wait,
relative.
80s? 90s?
80s, 90s group?
You're just not going to get it.
I'm not? Okay.
No.
I'm throwing some just, fuck it. Guns N' Roses. I don't know.
So,
just
right. So you would think it would be like maybe some rock and roll.
Yeah.
Maybe like some glitter from the 70s.
Right.
Maybe
Bowie.
some punk rock. Maybe some prog. He's well versed in Yes and Genesis and EOP, all that stuff. Like number one, Mariah Carey.
I love Mariah Carey. He loves Mariah Carey?
Yes.
I got to talk to Pat. I love Mariah Carey.
You guys could have a big long podcast thing about it. I'm sure.
Well, you know Mariah. I love Mariah, dude.
Just saying.
I tried to go to the music cares things. I'm like, fucking love Mariah.
So you think like, you know, Pat saw the Sex Pistols at Winterland or wherever it was. And, you know, like Pat is OG. And so you think like, you look at his history and his past and all those things. Mariah, number one.
Does he say, dude, why? Why does he love Mariah?
Ask Pat.
I will. I mean,
It's
what's
the
not
next
to love?
episode.
But
I'm telling you.
Yeah. To be continued.
It's a trip. Yes.
I'm going to do a deep dive with Pat on Mariah.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. One of my favorites.
She's unbelievable.
One of my favorites. One of my favorite singers.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
It's like Ian MacKaye
No.
with Ted Nugent. You're like,
Yeah.
wait, how's that?
Well, even more bizarre in a way. Well, maybe, I don't know. Ian MacKaye with Ted Nugent, just because the politics is pretty fast, pretty funny. You talked about like writing your way through things. I've also read, I know kind of earlier on, you mentioned like lyrics would really just be a last minute
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Is
They
that-
sometimes still are.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say, is that all? That's not always true, but it's sometimes true. And how'd that shake out on this one? Do you actually just sit and write still, like journal, like teenager, like when you were a teenager or early adult, or is it?
Yes and no. Not like I used to. Sometimes if I have an idea or a crazy dream, I'll write that down. It's still the part of the process that I like the least. Second guessing, self-editing, unsure if it's clear, unsure if it's vague. And both of my parents were writers, so I still have this like PTSD of living under the giant red pen that's just going to go nope. So I remember once we were making a record in my house in Virginia. This is, I think, the third record. Nothing Left to Lose, and small basement studio. And everyone's downstairs waiting for me. The track is recorded, but I have to sing. And I'm like upstairs in my bedroom, blank page, just like, come on, Dave, like just anything, just writer's block. And I'm like, just got to be something. And I come down into the kitchen, and I think Nate was there, and he says, "Are you done? Are you ready?" I'm like, "No, man, I'm kind of stuck. I'm not there yet." And he says to me, "Dude, not every song has to be Imagine by John Lennon. You know that, right?" So he kind of gave me this pass, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Pressure's off. Like, Weight is lifted.
Wow.
Great. I can write something and it could mean nothing to me, could mean everything to you.
Yeah.
Or something that means everything to me could mean nothing to you.
Yeah.
So then it sort of loosens the reins in that I don't want to spend a month writing a bridge. I really want it to happen.
Right.
And to have that immediacy. So there are times where I'm like, shit, hold on, give me 10 minutes. And I go, brrr, and I go in and do it, and it sounds good and it works. I'm like, great.
And you already have the melody.
Yeah, like I've got the pattern and the melody and whatever. Yeah. And it's not until months later, as the song's mixed and finished, that I listen and I'm like, wow, like I know what I was saying when I wasn't trying to say anything at all. Like it's almost, it's the subliminal.
Yeah.
It's not like this part of the cortex.
Yeah.
It's like back here.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just happening. So I like that. I like the restriction of, I like the pressure of my guy sitting on the couch like, can I get out of here before traffic? That kind of thing. And I'm just like, great. All right, let's go. Because otherwise I might manipulate something into something else.
Meaning less or being... It's more pure in that way, maybe, because it's coming from a subconscious level.
1000%.
I'm not really a lyric person. I try not... I sometimes it's years before I even know what a chorus is actually saying, or like the words of a chorus. It's gotten me in trouble doing this because sometimes people don't you know what that song's about? No, I don't. I don't even know the words, to be honest with you. But I don't often ask about lyrics. But child actor was something I was like, well, what the? Like, that's interesting. And actors have come up, like stacked actors.
Yeah.
Was always a fascinating song to me.
Yeah.
And for many reasons. But also lyrics, like it seems like that's been a...
the child actor thing was inspired by someone. All I wanted was for that person to like, hey man, like you can be you with me, right? Like you don't have to put on the thing.
Yeah.
Like you just relax, like be you,
Yeah.
And feeling like sometimes you meet someone and there's almost this someone who's trying to be the person that you want instead of the person that they want to be, right? Yeah, and it has to do with sort of like that validation.
Yeah.
That you're searching for some sort of acknowledgement or validation from others. When really like you have to have it here first.
Yeah.
So it's like turn the cameras off, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not out there, it's actually in here.
Yeah.
That one I wrote really quickly, actually. That one happened pretty fast. I mean, it's a simple song. It's not crazy or anything like that, but the intention and the idea and the concept and the feeling was real in that song. At some point in life, you have to be able to sit and be like, okay, and you work really hard to get there, but you have to be able to turn all of that shit off.
Yeah.
And so that was basically it. And I was really excited, and then we recorded it, and I'm like, it's just going, turn the cameras off. I say it 100 times. I'm screaming my fucking balls off. Turn the cameras off. And I'm really looking forward to doing it live because in that one moment, I hope that everyone puts their fucking phones down.
Yeah. Yes.
And actually watches the fucking gig.
Yes.
And listens to the music.
Yes.
That's my interpretation. Someone else might feel differently, and that's just kind of the way it is.
Yeah. After that great build-up moment, it goes into my... Which I think, because I listen, it's so hard when I'm doing, because the album's not out yet, so I've only been able to listen to it a handful of times.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like I fell in love with the first 3 songs and had a hard time getting past the first 3. And then a few days ago, I finally discovered the last song on the record, which was like, now I'm just playing that song over and over. I always want to call it Friend of a Friend, and it's not Friend of a Friend. Asking for a friend.
Yeah.
Amazing song. Amazing.
The asking for a friend thing, that's funny because that happened before we really started making this record. That song is like, 6-7 months ago. It was just as Alon joined the band. We had jammed a little bit, but I was like, you know what? Come to the house.
Yeah.
Let's record something.
Yeah.
He's a incredible studio drummer. The guy he's got like a photographic musical memory. You play him a riff, you play him a song one time, and he goes in, and the first take is perfect. You're like, great. But to be able to vibe and create with him, right? I wanted to see what it felt like.
Yeah.
It's almost like we were on a date, let's see if we vibe here.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. You know, his time's impeccable, and his taste and his composition, and he's like a fully formed musician. He's amazing and a phenomenal drummer. It's insane. So it was wild. It was like, not only are we gonna like go out and rip up stages from here to Sydney, Australia, but we're gonna do this together. And so we started vibing like that. And so that song, like, I mean, to me, that's bordering on like our magnus opus side of like big, long, structured, heavy, like anthemic kind of things. I almost didn't know if that should go on the record because we recorded it and released it, and then I'm like, I don't know if this fits with the other like short, simple blasts of something like Spitshine or something like Child Actor or something like Of All People. Like, does this thing fit in? Can you tag something that? Well, I'm not going to compare it to anything because I'll get in trouble. But to me, like, listen, one of my favorite albums of all time is And Justice for All by Metallica. And it does not sound like And Justice for All. But that's about, to me, it's like, I listen to that arrangement, and I don't know how Metallica writes songs. I don't know how they arrange their shit. But to me, I was like, okay, we've got different time signatures. We've got like different sections. We've got sort of overlapping melodies. We've got this bridge. It's double time. I'm screaming. There's a guitar solo. It's much different than the other songs on the record.
Way different than Window, or, you know, it's like.
Well, yeah, and Window is the funniest thing. You know, Window, that song, this is a great example of not overthinking shit. My daughter Harper plays the bass. She plays all the instruments, but like she really loves playing the bass. Her heroes, Kim Gordon, Kim Deal. I wanted to record something with Harper, and I came up with this riff. This bass is just like really almost like a weird T-Rex vibe. That kind of vibe, right? I'm like, hey, I wrote this thing. Let's record together, and we did. And I had that riff, and I was like. She loves the Breeders. Two favorite bands, probably Breeders and Ween. She's the biggest Ween fan in the world.
Great. She's got taste.
So to me, it's like that. There's those moments that sort of have these sort of Breeders elements. Bow. I saw your face there in the window. So I just did it like as this fun exercise with Harper. And then I came back to it. I'm like, well, yeah, I'll write something. And I always had this idea, like, have you ever been in a hotel where, like, the window washer, all of a sudden you hear something go, goosh, 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 and you look outside the window and there's a guy there, you know, like, washing the windows?
Yeah.
What a weird gig.
Terrified. There's not enough money in the world.
But what this guy's, he's looking in at everyone's most intimate moments. He just is.
Yeah.
You fucking know it.
Yeah.
And sometimes people never notice him. But he's offering this service, you know? That guy is there to bring in the light.
Yeah.
He wants you to see everything clearly through a wonderful, nice, clean window.
Yeah.
Most people never consider that.
Was that thought kicking around?
Actually, you know what's crazy? The drummer of The Faith, my favorite DC band, his name is Igor Hansen, I think, became a window washer, and he wrote a book about it. I digress.
Maybe that must be where that came.
Bring it all together. I don't know.
Because where else is that? Why is that so?
I don't fucking know.
Odd thing to be kicking around your head to just come out in a burst of beating to write.
Right. So then we recorded it, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool and funny. And then also we started playing it for people, and everyone's like, I love this song. And I'm like, you do? It's hard for me to, like, I remember when we recorded Best of You right here.
Wow.
And we recorded it, and I'm like, eh. And then our manager, John Silva, we're playing the record. He goes, what about that song where you say Best of You 100 times? And I'm like, I don't know, is that any good? He's like, I like it. And I was like, I didn't think it was that special.
You played that back and you didn't?
No, I mean, I know, like, we completed the task. We got it to a place where, like, yeah, that's cool. But I didn't really think anybody else would feel it.
Wow.
Whatever. So that was like the Window song. And then everyone's like, yay, Window. I'm like, really?
It's cool. It's a cool song.
And then people are finding meaning, like, that there's a line that says, pleased to finally meet you, swinging from the ceiling, watch you hang around until someone lets you down.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's so heartbreaking. Watch someone hang around until someone lets them down. I'm like, no, I was just talking about the fucking thing the thing is standing on.
Yeah. Yeah. One day it'll hit you with that, you know.
You know, one thing that actually, it's funny to do interviews and talk about music or the music that you just made.
Yeah.
It's really, sometimes that's the first time you think like, oh yeah, is that what I did? I don't know what I did.
Like it's out, like you can't even, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys also almost worked with David Briggs, right? Neil's longtime.
Yeah, we met with him.
Did you meet with? I was gonna ask. Did you ever meet with him?
Yeah,
How did it go? Because he's like a rough character, or what? You know, rest in peace.
We went to Benihana or something like that and talked about records. He was really cool. I mean, around that time, Neil had made the Ragged Glory record.
Yeah,
and I think that was Briggs who did that one. But right, so we knew like Briggs was very familiar with the idea of recording like a raw fucking band live to capture those moments. And that's kind of what we wanted to do. Briggs was really cool. We met with a couple different people. Ultimately, it was like Butch.
You got the right one.
We got Butch, but you know.
Fascinating to think for a world where it was Briggs. Though,
I know.
You know, or even just.
Could have gone a whole other direction.
Yeah. 1,000 questions, 1,000 things we could talk about, but I want to let you go, man. This has been amazing to sit with you here in your place.
I'm glad you came. Yeah, man.
Where Led Zeppelin 2 hangs above the the live room.
Did you make your way all the way down the hallways?
I didn't want to go through. I didn't want to get kicked out, but I went like halfway down.
No, there's some like you wind up in like Tenacious D territory, like around that corner.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going then.
Yeah, there's some funny shit in there.
Yeah, this is.
Well, I'm glad you came.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate you.
You have to come back.
I will. Listen.
Got to come back and do that Pat Smear interview.
If you guys can make
the
it
Mariah
happen,
episode.
I'll do it. I'll do that shit next week.
Gabby's on it.
All right. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for checking out Broken Record on YouTube. If you want to listen to us on the go, be sure to subscribe to Broken Record wherever you listen to podcasts.